a lot, a lot, man. I mean, and that's where those thoughts come from, those crazy suicidal thoughts. That's where it come from, because it's like, damn, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, God has given me so much, but at the same time, taken so much away from me.
When Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And
August Alsina is finally addressing his complicated involvement with Jada. And his recent comments have sparked a fresh wave of criticism against Jada. Some fans are even going as far as calling her a predator. It's important to note that when August met Jada, he was going through a tough time, battling illness and depression. To make matters more unsettling, August recently revealed that he had experienced SA as a child. Adding to the complexity is the fact that Jada is 21 years older than August. Now consider this. What if the situation were reversed and it was Will who initiated a relationship with one of his daughter's friends when they were sick and vulnerable? Will would likely face immediate condemnation, and rightly so. So how come no one held Jada accountable for taking advantage of August, who was in a vulnerable state? To be clear, August was an adult, and he never accused Jada of coercing him into anything. However, Jada was well aware of his vulnerability, so her involvement with him raises serious concerns. The question now is, how does August feel about his involvement with Jada? Does he believe that Jada acted like a predator by taking advantage of him? Let's dive into the details.
And it all started with, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
A few years ago, the name August Alsina stirred up quite the gossip frenzy when Jada and Will decided to spill the tea about Jada's complicated involvement with him. Back then, most folks were quick to point fingers at Jada, accusing her of cheating. But here's where things get real juicy. Jada recently spilled the beans that she and Will had actually been living separate lives since 2016. What's more, August claimed that Will gave him the green light to get involved with Jada. So it's a tangled web, and it's hard to tell who's wearing the black hat in this entanglement. However, if you thought that was the end of the drama, hold on to your hats, because we're about to dive into some deep and disturbing secrets about August's relationship with Jada. You see, August had one heck of a tough life. He's got a story marked by more hurdles than an obstacle course. The loss of loved ones, battles with addiction, and serious health woes. But the plot thickens. Both his father and stepfather struggled with drug addiction, and he had a pretty rocky relationship with his mom. Rumor has it that some fans speculated that August got involved with Jada to fill a motherly void. But let's just say this wasn't a fairy tale ending. August ended up catching real feelings, while it seemed like Jada might have been more interested in boosting her own ego.
Many emotions that comes with it, and I think that people don't talk about the idea of, that we're always like, oh man, if I just had this, if I just had money, or if I just had this.
Things got even messier when at one point, August lost his entire support system. In a 2015 interview on The Breakfast Club, he spilled the tea about how he felt like he had no family left. And when asked about his mom, he gave props to her for raising him, but made it clear that they were never close.
Terrible relationship with their parents, or just it's non-existent, or don't even, it's never been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need some hope out here, man. Like, I ain't trying to tear nobody down.
August had to deal with the heart-wrenching loss of loved ones. His brother Melvin was tragically shot and killed just 3 days before August's 18th birthday. But the roller coaster didn't stop there. In December 2018, he faced another gut-wrenching loss when his sister, Chandra, passed away from cancer. It's like a never-ending storm in his life. August's personal struggles went beyond just grief and loss. He got caught up in battles with substance use and found himself addicted to painkillers. In 2019, life threw yet another curveball his way. He ended up hospitalized and diagnosed with nerve damage due to a pre-existing autoimmune disorder. This left him temporarily blind and unable to walk. It's like life was throwing everything it had at him. And just when you thought the drama was hitting its peak, in his 2020 docuseries, State of Emergency, The Rise of August Alsina, he dropped a bombshell. He revealed that he had experienced some deeply troubling events as a child. Someone close to him had subjected him to abuse. The kicker? Despite telling his mom to keep it hush-hush, she couldn't help herself and shared it with random people in the neighborhood. August has had a tough life right from his early years. He didn't have a strong support system to lean on. So, when Jada and Will Smith came into his life, he felt like he'd finally had a family he could trust. His friendship with their son, Jaden, was the starting point, and it introduced him to Jada and Will. In a heartfelt interview, Jada and Will shared that when they first met August, he was going through some really tough times, especially with his health. They genuinely wanted to help him, and it was clear that they cared deeply for his well-being. But here's where the story takes a twist. Will mentioned that their initial support was primarily about August's health. This suggests that as time passed, their relationship with August took on a different dimension.
When Aug first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah.
We all know what Will is alluding to here, because it's no secret that Jada eventually initiated a romantic relationship with August. She described it as an entanglement. Jada claimed that she and Will were going through some difficulties, and essentially, she used her involvement with August as a way to boost her own self-esteem.
When I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened? An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
She did this because she thought it would make her feel better about herself. It's important to clarify that August wasn't forced into this situation, but there was a significant age difference between them, and August was going through some tough times in his life. Given these circumstances, some people feel that Jada, being older and more experienced, should have been more cautious and not pursued this connection. What adds to the complexity of this situation is that August developed genuine feelings for Jada. He truly cared about her. However, it appears that once Jada achieved what she wanted from this relationship, she ended it rather abruptly, leaving August emotionally hurt. This whole scenario caused quite a stir, and some influential figures in the industry spoke out against Jada's actions. D.L. Hewley, for instance, described Jada's behavior as predatory. He pointed out that if the situation were reversed, with Jada's husband Will acting similarly, people would be much more upset. Charlemagne, the God, also criticized Jada, highlighting that she prioritized her own desires over August's well-being. He emphasized that August turned to her while he was in a vulnerable state, seeking healing, and Jada's response seemed more about her own need to feel good. Some people see this as an example of unhealthy behavior and an imbalance of power dynamics in the relationship. August, on the other hand, chose not to publicly confront Jada about how she treated him. Nevertheless, hints in his interviews indicated that he was deeply hurt by her actions. It was clear that he had genuine, heartfelt feelings for her. With Jada once more making headlines for the wrong reasons, her fans are closely examining her actions. A lot of them feel that she should face consequences for her involvement with August, especially considering the tough time he was going through. He was dealing with the loss of several family members, shouldering the responsibility of caring for his sister's children, and battling severe depression. People are critical of Jada's behavior, calling it inconsiderate and opportunistic. They wonder why some folks seem to disregard the negative effects it had on August. They're essentially asking whether Jada should be held responsible for her actions and the impact they had on August, who was already dealing with so much adversity. In the eyes of some fans, this situation resembles a vulnerable young man turning to adults for help, only to find that they made the situation worse for their own pleasure, even at the expense of their own child. They see Jada as holding all the power, and wonder about Will's apparent agreement with the situation. One fan commented saying, "I would think that your children's friends become your children too. Hence, nursing him back to health, to then sleep with your child's friend who is emotionally vulnerable, says a lot about the type of a human being you are. I mean, you wouldn't sleep with your child. Why would you sleep with their friend? To think generally of other people's children as not your children is what's wrong with the world." Another one chimed in saying, in her book, she takes no responsibility for her actions, calling it entanglement as a flowery word that pleases herself when it was actually an affair. She seduced that young man. So sad. It's a complex and emotional issue, and as Jada finds herself in hot water again, people are debating whether she should be held accountable for her actions. What's your take on it? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. And while we wait for more updates, make sure to subscribe and watch our next video for more Hollywood drama you never knew you needed.